Hello YouTube, my name is Oscar. Today I'm bringing you a review for the Roav Dashcam C1. Please note, I would like to make you aware right from the get-go. This is an item that I did receive from Anchor as part of the Power User Program. It was a device itself that I have been looking at purchasing a Dashcam for about 2 or 3 months, and I haven't been able to decide which model I wanted to go with. So when Anchor offered that opportunity for me to actually test this device, I jumped on it because it'll give me a better experience of what I'm looking for and also be able to give you feedback of what the features are and where I currently sit. So the Roav Dashcam C1, this is the particular model. This is the R2110. Features this particular Dashcam provides are full HD at 1080p. It also does support other resolutions, which I believe is 720. Different frames, 30 and 60 frames per second. It is Wi-Fi. It does have built-in Wi-Fi, so it allows you to connect to the Wi-Fi mobile app. It brings in what they call the Nighthawk Vision. It is Sony's Exmor IMX323 sensor, which assists with capturing license plates when someone speeds by at night. It's supposed to give you a better capture rate during the night. That's pretty much what I summed it up to. It provides 145 degree of angle coverage of recording space. According to Anchor and what they published in this article, it covers up to 4 lanes. It does have a gravity sensor for monitoring to instantly start recording like sudden stops or collisions. One particular area that is pointed out is like if you're parked somewhere else and someone bumps your car by accident, it automatically starts recording and capturing that footage. It does have a built-in battery as well, so your vehicle does not have to be on in order for it to capture video. So those are the features it brings. An overview of the contents in the box. You're going to get your general standard packaging box. It comes with the shimming tool. It's multiple angles, so you can actually wedge the USB cable and run it through your the frame of your vehicle. That noise you're hearing there is a parking monitor. Every time I move my desk or I kind of bump it, it actually activates. There's multiple sensitivity levels for that. We'll touch base a little bit here and more of those settings. The micro USB cable is to USB. It's 125 inches in length, slightly over 10 feet. So the idea here is for it to actually, you should be able to mount your dash cam and wrap the cable within the frame of your vehicle using the shimming tool, and eventually just route the cable to the power source. So will I be doing that? Probably so, but not quite yet. I'm still learning more about the device itself. But overall, my experience has been great. It does provide 2 3M adhesive, mount for the dash cams. In this particular one, it does have a wedge in the back that matches up with the dash cam itself. You're able to just match up the items. Hope if I have it the right way, right? As you see, it becomes pretty flush. And then all you do is slide it. It does have a little wedge where it kind of locks in place. But what I did like about this particular one, that it doesn't get to the point that you have to pry it off. You just kind of slide it gently and it comes right off. Simple enough. Okay, for the sake of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable that parking monitoring, because it is going to drive me nuts here shortly. And I'll go through the other items. It does come in with a Anchor Power Drive tool, dual USB car charger. The build quality on this is pretty great. I was actually looking at dual USB chargers and I actually came with one. It is powered by the IQ technology, so it's supposed to learn or use the maximum power supported by your device to give it the fastest charging capacity or capability to recharge your device. Pretty awesome. You're going to get your owner's manual, your quick start guide, enjoy your smart driving guide. So the only one thing I would say it does not come with, and you should be aware of, it does not come with a micro SD card. So in this particular one, You do have to purchase one on your own. It does support several sizes. It supports the 8 gigabyte, 16, 32, 64, and 128. If anything, I would say this: depending on the size of the SD card you're going to use, that's how much is going to overlap or re-record over the previous footage. So just keep that in mind. Additionally, I am going to read some quick specs that are provided in the manual, and that's to give you an idea of what capacity or what it could hold depending on the size of the device. So for 8 gigabytes, so it's 80 minutes at 1080p, 30 frames per second, 90 minutes, 720p at 60 frames per second, 120 minutes at 720p, 30 frames per second. 16 gigabyte is 160 minutes at 1080p, 30 frames per second, 180 minutes at 720p at 60 frames per second, 240 minutes at 720p, 30 frames per second. For 32 gigabytes, 320 minutes at 1080p, 30 frames per second, 360 minutes at 720p, 60 frames per second, 480 minutes at 720p, 30 frames per second. They do not provide details for the 64 and 128 gigabyte in regards to how much video it can capture, but they do make a note on the actual manual itself that says, for a 64 gigabyte or 128 gigabyte card, use a computer to format it with FAT32 file system before using. It is recommended to format the card regularly. So I wasn't able to find too many details regarding that, kind of like awareness, or they just point that out. So it may seem that the card maybe corrupts or goes bad or something to that effect. Other than that, I haven't experienced any issues. I've only formatted my card once. But, we'll see what the future brings. And if something does occur, I'll provide an update to the video. So, kind of to go back to the Dashcam. And actually, this is the item that I did not point out. So, the Dashcam itself is this particular little device. It comes with an LCD screen. It is not touchscreen. It does have touch buttons in the bottom that are lined up. So the buttons themselves, and yes, to make sure that I read them correctly to you guys before I give you bad information, you're going to have your OK button, your play, pause, and then you have two arrows for left and right to move around throughout the menu, and then you have your back to previous menu, which is the circle. The circle itself, when the Dashcam is actually recording, it becomes your emergency button. The emergency button, what it means is that an event has occurred and you touch it and it locks that video file. It prevents you from accidentally deleting it. And when I show you the actual video, and by connecting it to my mobile device, I'll be able to show you how it is distinguished between all the other files. So the Dashcam itself, when you mount it, it kind of sits to the point where it's pointing this way. So the video is always, the LCD is facing down. The sides is what Dashcam calls is an invisible design because it's, how would I say? I just lost the word, apologies. But it goes from skinnier to thicker, or like, this is embarrassing. Apologies. But it gives you that design so it's not as thick. The power button is located here. This is your speaker and then your mic. The camera itself is adjustable, and it doesn't wiggle around because you can hear those little clicks, so it kind of locks it in place. The side, the bottom, and this is the wedge where you stick in your micro SD card. Pretty simple. You just kind of push it down, push it back down, to eject, push it back down to lock it in place. So, next steps. There are multiple ways for you to customize the Dashcam itself. So, what options are you able to customize? So let me turn it on and I'll kind of go through this. And I will say this, customizing it it's easier done with what I found with the mobile device when you pair it. But you can actually go in the store, purchase this device, spend, between 5 to, I would say, between 10 to 20 minutes customizing it, plugging it in on your, or mounting it on your windshield, and you're good to go. The device is running. So, and I apologize if you can see too greatly here, and I will be adjusting the video as best as I can. So if you hit menu, you're going to get options like adjusting the frames per second. So instead of seeing how blurry it's getting, so I'll go through the menu options. You can adjust the resolution, the loop recording. So for, like I said, for resolution, it covers the following. It's 1080p at 30, 720 at 30 frames per second, 720 at 60 frames per second. For the loop recording, it covers the following: 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, and 10 minutes. The sensitivity, you can adjust it so it's either low, medium, high, or off. The parking monitor, you're able to adjust it so it's low, medium, or high. The Wi-Fi option is like for you to connect it to your mobile device, and setting up the password and the SSID or the network name. And then your date, language, how often you want the LCD on or off. It's either 30 or 60 seconds or completely off. Whether you want the machine sound. I currently have mine off. To give you an idea what it sounds like, is like this. I just have it off. You can restore it all back to default. You can format your SD card. You can add watermarks, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it adds the Roav. It has the Roav emblem towards the bottom, and I can actually confirm that here in a second. I'm trying to remember, but it's not helping me at the moment. Yep, it adds the Roav logo on the top left-hand corner, and it adds the time and date in the bottom. I believe the time and date is by default, but the Roav logo is what they're talking about there. Then from there, you can adjust your hertz per second that you want to, not per second, but the hertz is either at 50 or 60. And then the about, it gives you information such as, the product name, the version, the serial number, and I believe the firmware. So you can actually do firmware upgrades on this device as well. So, like I said, you can actually grab this device and go. You can be able to customize it and just plug it in and go if you're on a road trip or something to that effect. The menu itself, you're going to tell you it's recording, whether your speaker is actually, whether you're capturing audio or not, your battery, the length of time you've been recording, and then the labels for each of the buttons. Okay, so at this moment what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it to the app itself, and I should be able to show you. As you can see, I continue thinking it's a touchscreen, and it is not. So in this option, so to do that, you go to the wireless section, you hit OK, and then it turns on the Wi-Fi. Doing so, what you have to do with your mobile device is actually go to the Wi-Fi settings and look for the Roav Dashcam network and connect to it. When you first set it up, it gives you the password to connect to it, so it's fairly painless, honestly. Once you connect to that Roav Dashcam, you open the app, and then you'll be able to see the information for the Dashcam C1 and that you're connected. So, to go further, what you're able to do, if you click on Dashcam videos, it's going to give you a collection of all the videos your device has captured. So the differences are, there's your regular videos, and then also it's going to break them down by the time and the date. If you notice on one of the videos, on the top left-hand corner, there's a little red icon. What that means is that the video is locked. It's when you hit that emergency button. It's a video that you want to keep where it has a certain importance. It won't clear until you actually do that yourself. So items to delete the videos, if you want to clean up the SD card, you just hit the top right hand corner and you're able to multi-select. And then just delete and free up that space. Or you don't even have to do that. You know, it's something where the Roav Dashcam, what it's going to do is when it fills up, it just starts overlapping or over recording over the oldest content and then go forward. To view a video itself, just tap it. And you can see I had the audio on and it's recording everything. The video quality itself looks awesome. So options you can do. You can export it out by tapping a save button or like a file disk button, and it's gonna export the video out. This is the area where I caution you. You know, it's items that come into play here. You gotta understand that how much free space you have on your mobile device. Additionally, you know, the length of how often you're looping the video. You know, 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 or 10. The longer the video, the more space it's going to consume. Additionally, you know, you can, for that particular event, you can tap on multiple dates and times or different areas and view the video itself. So one item you're able to do, for example, I'm gonna export one video to show you additional features. So to export it out, you tap that and it starts downloading it. And it's dropping the file on my phone itself. Give you surplus times is about 1 to 2 minutes. This particular video is 292 megabytes, and I was recording at 1080p, 30 frames per second. You know, the export is pretty fast. You know, I was quite surprised by that. I thought it was going to take itself quite some time, but it did not. The quality of the export looks fantastic. It doesn't look blurry or downscaled or any of that. You know, it looks excellent. Additional features that come with this option is you're able to actually post it or upload it to YouTube. You know, that's the area where you may see some degrade. You may see the video get degraded. It depends whether you're doing on Wi-Fi or your mobile network. All of those other factors come into play. So at the moment I'm at about 60%. The other options I want to show you once this is complete is how you can upload it to social sites if you want to do that. You know, thank you for bearing with me. I'm fairly new to doing these. It's experience that this is my third run, and quite frankly, I'm trying to be as honest and legit as much as I can with doing these videos. So it's about to finish exporting. Now I get the option of actually being able to hit the upload button and see areas that you can do. You can trim the video here. So if you do want to upload it to a social site such as Facebook or YouTube, you can actually do that. You can choose at what the resolution you want to upload it to. It's either 360p, 720p, 1080p. Each of those bring multiple sizes. So 360 is 16.5 megabytes, 720 is 231, 1080 is 292 megabytes. But you can also trim the video. So if you only want to look for a certain section, you can actually trim the video and get the area that you want, and it adjusts the areas that you want to actually export it out. Other than that, quite frankly, easiest way to set up your Dashcam. Going back out, if you go to settings, you're going to go through pretty much all the same features that you can do from the Dashcam. You can adjust your resolution. You can turn on recording audio, yes or no. Just please keep in mind, depending on the conversations going on in your vehicle, the radio, and everything else, it is going to capture that. So if you're going to be uploading or sharing videos, yes, please be cautious of what you upload. The sensitivity, I need to look that up more. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it has to do with... I keep getting that confused with the parking monitor, but I don't believe it's that. And I'll have to provide more information on that. The auto screen off, if you want it constantly on or off, that's up to you, whether you want the watermark on or off. The parking monitor, you pretty much adjust all the settings in here as well. You know, loop recording, changing your Wi-Fi password, formatting your micro SD card, your clear your cache, device update. This is one of those items where you know you can actually update the firmware on the device. Feedback, and then about. It's going to give you all the information about your particular device. The dashcam itself, quite frankly, I didn't have any trouble. I haven't had any trouble using it. It's probably one of the more stable solutions. I have a GoPro, and quite frankly, every time I try to plug it in, and not to bash on GoPro, it seems to be an issue. And this particular one, once you connect, you're good to go. So, my overall impression. Quite frankly, you know, there's other dashcams out there that bring additional features such as GPS and items like that. And if anything, what I've been looking for is for something that just records, and you know, it's the base of what it is that I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to be reliable and capture the video, and then if something ever happened, or whether I committed an infraction or someone else committed an infraction, you know, it can be used to protect, or you know, both sides of the fence. So, in my honest opinion, you know, I'm very happy with this particular device. I've looked at the different models, and I don't see myself purchasing or obtaining another device because you know it meets what I need. You know, if you like GPS, by all means, you know, get it. You know, those are items that you know you got to consider. You know, the accuracy and other items to that effect. But overall, my impression of this device here, you know, I'm looking at purchasing two more. You know, at full price because I do like them not only as for myself, but what I'm going to be providing for my parents, and you know, and my siblings as well. You know, they live in California, so things are a little bit different. You know, just it's more hectic up there. You know, being in Washington State is not too bad, but overall, you know, I do love the device. The build quality is great. It doesn't feel like I'm gonna break it. That is cheap or anything like that. A note on that: I did receive an email from Anchor where they were saying that due to heat, the LCD screen was popping out. So if you live in an area that is too hot, you know, they did provide the model numbers. But what Anchor did is, instead of me experiencing that or hearing about it from other sources, they sent me an email and told me, hey, so we know that this issue is going on, and you have three options to do. We can refund the device, and I believe I have the email up. Just give me a second here, and I'll actually be able to give you the email to give you an idea of what they were saying. And actually, I don't. Give me a second here, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what Anchor provided. And I thought, you know, this is why you know I look for their products, because by far, you know, they go, in my opinion, they go above and beyond other companies who do offer such an items like this. That. So they listed two options: return the product and we will replace it with a new version. Keep the product and we will extend the warranty of your product to a total of 24 months. In that case, if I do that, I don't have to do anything. You know, they provide the model numbers that are affected by this. But see, this is an item that Anchor has done continuously. They back their products. You know, I own multiple items for Anchor. Not because I'm a fanboy, but quite frankly, you know, their build quality is great. Their support is great. I don't have any negative thing to say. I've gifted, you know, 5-port USB chargers. You know, how many devices do we have to charge with a USB cable? You know, I gifted those for presents, and people love them. You know, so I am rubbing my nose a little bit in there, but you know, at the moment is, quite frankly, I'm more than happy, and I would highly recommend this device itself. You know, if you want something simple to use to capture the video quality, be dependable, be reliable, and you know, give you great footage, you can't go wrong with the Anchor Dashcam C1. You know, if you want additional features, you know, check out all the other product lines that they have. I believe they have an upgraded version for this particular model. And in this case, you know, this is where I stand. You know, I thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please add them to the comments. You know, I'll try to be proactive and respond, or take a look at my comments here and there. I will be providing a couple videos, you know, for you to refer to. One for night and one for day. Actual footage, not edited, converted, or anything like that. If any of that occurs, you know, it's because either I'm gonna just upload them to a share and give you the idea of what it looks like, or link or provide it, or upload them to YouTube as well. Either way, the information will be in the description. Additionally, I am going to provide screenshots of what the menu items look like. I know it was hard to view it in the video. I'll be providing screenshots for you to look at and actually get a better idea of what it looks like. So, like I said, thank you for bearing with me in this video, and I'll be making adjustments and get more familiar with doing video reviews. But I thank you for your time, and have a great day. Hello once more. So the purpose of this segment is to show you what the Roav Dashcam looks like when it's mounted. My vehicle is a 2017 Impreza. So to give you an idea, the Roav Dashcam is right there. As you can see, it's kind of tucked behind my rear view mirror. So once you go inside, and I apologize for the glare, I'll show you from the inside here shortly. Once you go inside, you can't even see it. So from the inside itself, as you can see, it's hidden. It's underneath, behind the rearview mirror. Dismounting it and mounting it is pretty simple. Just kind of grab it, slide it to the side, and it comes off. Same with mounting it. And it attaches. The cable at the moment I kind of have it dangling straight down. It doesn't interfere because it seems to fall in the little crease of my infotainment system. Then I have a plug-in right here. I don't believe I'm going to use the shim tool to run the cable. I don't believe it's long enough, but at the moment, it works the way it is. So I'm pretty happy with it. If I do run the shim tool, then I'll provide an update. The dash cam operates itself. When you turn on your vehicle, the dash cam turns itself on. When you turn off the vehicle, the dash cam shuts itself off. There's other features too, where if you close doors or if your car gets bumped, the camera comes on by itself and records. So there's some other features that you should be aware of as well. Apologize for the dust. We have quite a few firestorms going around in the area, and there's a lot of ash falling around. Fortunately, I made the mistake of leaving my windows open.